All right, let's talk a little baseball. And before we look forward with Mike Wilner, host of the Deep Left Field podcast, Mike, let's look back at the World Series, if you don't mind. I don't know where this term, a gentleman's sweep, came from, but I don't mind it. It's like, we'll give you a game. That's what the Dodgers did to the Yankees, winning it in 5, but anticlimactic in a lot of ways. What was your take on the 2024 World Series?
Yeah, it was fine with me because the Yankees lost. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether it was in 4, 5, 6, or 7. They were not nearly as good as the Dodgers, and it was a just result in the World Series. I gotta say though, Rod, you brought me on at the exact wrong time. Right when I came on, you were talking about how people don't want to be told who to vote for and how to get vaccines and stuff like that. And we're all wearing these poppies right now. And 2 days ago, the country to our south that you're broadcasting in just overwhelmingly voted in a guy who says that soldiers who were killed at war are losers, and prisoners of war are suckers. And I don't understand the world we're living in right now. I don't understand how up here in Canada it feels like we're about to elect someone who says he speaks for the working people but has never worked a day in his life outside of Parliament, and who won't get a national security clearance because there's stuff he doesn't want to know. I don't want to tell you who to vote for. I just want you to really look hard at the people that you're voting for, and to try to vote for something and not against something. I just got my COVID shot 2 days ago. So many millions of people have died, and now we find out that all our MMR vaccines that we got in the 70s are waning, and we need another one. I don't want my grandchildren dying of measles when they're 3 months old. So please, let's everybody take care of your fellow humans, please, and let's hope the Yankees continue to lose World Series year after year after year.
I was going to say, don't spend too much time overthinking this stuff because you never will figure it out. Nobody ever will, Mike. But, it's funny you say that about the Yankees. Have you watched the Netflix series, The Comeback, yet on the 03-04 ALCS? Will you?
I watched it live. I saw every game, and it was awesome at the time. I have not seen that, but I talked to Dave Roberts, who had the biggest stolen base in history in that series, and it was wonderful 20 years ago, and it will ever be. As long as nobody else ever comes back from 3-0 down, and we get reminded of the Yankees' spectacular collapse every time a team gets up 3-0 in every playoff series forever, that will be. That's just perfect.
I call myself a casual baseball fan, but I was watching it at the time too. It's fun to go back and remember these things. And I'm watching the series, the Netflix series, going, oh, yes, this is why everybody hates the Yankees. I forgot. And there's that arrogant SOB, George Steinbrenner, standing there before the microphones, basically explaining his arrogance and certainly not apologizing for it. So, I enjoyed the series. Now, let's look forward. The Juan Soto sweepstakes. Guess he's going to take some time off before digging into this, Mike. What are the Blue Jays a player, do you think, for Juan Soto?
Hope so. I think so. I don't think they're a major player for Juan, so I think things are going to have to break in a very specific, certain way. He's going to have to be blown away by their facilities, which is easy. I mean, they do have the best facilities in the major leagues, both in spring training and back at Rogers Center. All the stuff under the stands for the players is the players have said that it's the best in the big leagues. He's going to have to be blown away by that. They're going to have to make a commitment to him, to spending, and to fielding a legit championship contender year after year, because he's not going to want to sign somewhere for 15 years where 8 of them are going to be mediocre and 2 of them are going to be terrible and 5 of them are going to be really, really good. But what it comes down to is that the Yankees and the Mets have all the money. They're flashier. He has the year with the Yankees already, so he knows what they're all about, and they went to the World Series. So that's going to help. He's had a year in New York, which really is it's going to help either way. And I think that I don't think the Jays are going to get into a bidding war if it gets silly, like Otani level money. But I do think they'll be in there, and they'll express their interest and let him know that they're serious. If he wants to come here, he's just going to have to, want to come here.
You laid out very good reasons why it may not happen, but at least the desire is there from the Blue Jays, perhaps behalf. Speaking of Otani, no buyer's regret there from the Dodgers, huh? Even though he wasn't a big factor in the World Series, they got no regrets in the way they've been spending their money.
There was never going to be any regrets for Shohei, and whoever got him was going to absolutely love having Shohei Otani for the better part of a decade. He's the best player who's ever lived. I mean, period, end of story. That's it. He's the best player who ever lived. He didn't have to worry about pitching this year, and he went 50-50, which no one's ever done, ever. And while, he blew out his shoulder in that slide in game 2 and was never really a factor after that in the World Series, he was certainly a huge factor in getting them there. And, next year, he'll be back to being a two-way player. He'll become their best starting pitcher and their best hitter. We can see why everyone was so excited here 11 months ago when they thought he was coming to Toronto.
Do you enjoy the debate over who's the best ever? Do you enjoy it, or do you have no time for it? You just say, Sam, stop talking to me.
There's no debate. I mean, how could there possibly be a debate? I understand we live in a very low information age and in an age where people are really, really dug in their opinions and don't want to hear anything different. But there's no argument to be made that there's ever been anyone who's better at baseball than Shohei Otani.
Well, I'll tell you what I hear. I was listening to Colin Cowherd on Fox Sports 640 South Florida here, basically saying, hey, if it was back in the day, Ty Cobb or Babe Ruth, guys would have been dusting him off at the plate. Or he was just a DH where he set the 50-50 record. He wasn't an everyday player. He wasn't out in the field, putting his body on the line, or he wasn't pitching. He had the benefit of rest because he was just a DH when he set the 50-50 record. Does any of that resonate with you?
No. No, it doesn't. And I understand. I understand that Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb, Ty Cobb would have gone in spikes high or whatever, but he's not in the field, so he's not a middle infielder, so you can't get him. And 2, you can't do that anymore. And I also understand that Ty Cobb put together his lifetime 367 average facing only white guys, and facing really no breaking balls and nobody who threw in the 90s. It is exceptionally more difficult to play baseball now than it ever has been before. You're facing so much more velocity. You're facing ridiculous breaking stuff. And often you're never facing the same pitcher twice in a game. None of those guys can hold a candle to what Otani is able to do. Period.
I love the answer. Mike, love chatting ball with you. Enjoy the offseason. Hope we can do it again here before long.
Hopefully there's stuff to talk about on the Blue Jay side. I'm thinking they're going to be active, but they've tried in the past, and we shall see. Thank you.